Today I'm sharing some of my wellness tips, my wellness routine as a Spoonie, because some of you have asked what is it that I'm doing that's working, that's helping. So this video may branch into a couple other subcategories, but I'm just going to give a brief overview about what I personally have found works for me. And obviously every single body is unique and different, but over the course of almost 3 years of being diagnosed, I have worked through many different things and tried many different things to find what really works in my personal body. So for my wellness, a major component is movement. And I know that's really hard to tackle as someone with a chronic illness or Spoonie, depending on what your condition is. But I have learned from my friend Tandy, who's the founder of Unicorn Wellness, and a phenomenal resource, which I'll include in this video link to anyone and everyone that needs help with movement, especially autoimmune bodies. But what I've learned from her is that there is actually a 30-minute mark that bodies are supposed to be working out to. And any workout, any activity after those 30 minutes actually exacerbates the body and the stress hormones, and you're actually doing more damage than positive. So movement for me is all about under the 30-minute mark, mindful movement that works for my body for that day. And it totally varies depending on the day. I aim for 30 minutes of movement each day. And that movement can be anything from getting on the mat with Unicorn Wellness, or a yoga practice, or jumping on my trampoline, which really only goes for about 10 minutes. But the rebounder and the trampoline is really great for osteoporosis, so I use that for managing my bones. Walking, hiking, if the weather is wonderful, swimming, just minor mindful movement that works for my body that day. There are some days when obviously I can't move and I am bedridden or catatonic, and on those days I do other components of my wellness a little bit extra. So I aim for movement every day. Meditation has been huge in my healing and my wellness. I was always a practicing meditation prior to diagnosis, but after being diagnosed, it became such a severe part of my healing and my wellness that it became so obvious how unwell I was when I wasn't doing it. And the beautiful thing about meditation is it really can be anything. It doesn't have to be sitting still and being quiet for 30 minutes or anything like that. It can be candle gazing, or coloring, or painting, or going for a walk, or throwing your legs up the wall. I personally like to do binaural beats, which are sound waves that you listen to and you can close your eyes, or I listen to guided meditations, or after I do like a small yoga movement or flow, I will just meditate on the mat for a little bit with some tarot cards or crystals. And that has really helped me slow down my body and my mind. Meditation, movement, whole foods, whole real foods, clean organic foods have always been a priority for me, but now more than ever. I always try to eat plant-based foods first, and then keeping as clean as possible. I tried the autoimmune paleo protocol for about 2 years, and it was really, really great for some aspects, but it wasn't the final thing to help me in the long run. So I took the components of it, and if you're not familiar with it, I can put some information about it here below. But it's predominantly a grain-free, dairy-free, nut-free, seed-free, nightshade-free, pretty much just fruits and vegetables and animal protein is all that you're having. And that worked for me for a while, and then I was able to do a 41-day food reset and reintroduce some foods like eggs, and white rice, and goat dairy, which has been a significant healer in my osteoporosis. So eating clean foods was really, really important. Food, movement, meditation, being really, really gentle and mindful with self-care. Self-care is kind of a thrown around word these days, but really what I intend for and aim for when I'm practicing self-care is giving myself some attention and priority over not necessarily just others, but my environment. I am obsessed with the airplane analogy of you can't help anyone else until you put your own mask on first, and that's exactly what self-care is. And as somebody with a autoimmune disease or chronic illness, if you are not managing and taking care of your own body, you are completely useless to anyone else around you. Even though, like I know from past experience, I'm a type A personality and I always try to put myself second and help other people first. And what ends up happening is because I'm low cortisol and so stressed out and so unwell, I become really irritable, angry, and have high anxiety and just end up in a flare. So it's taken me a really long time to implement self-care as a super serious priority. And for me, that self-care looks like baths. I take Epsom salt baths. I aim for one almost every single day. Foam rolling, and then treating myself with kindness throughout the day. Now, self-care can be individualized practices and moments or rituals, but really, really treating myself with kindness throughout the day is a practice that I like to focus on as well. So all of these things together have been beautiful components that I practice every single day. And as I said in the beginning, if I'm catatonic or dizzy or unable to move, I try to practice the other aspects of my wellness circle, let's say, a little bit more to amplify and make sure that I'm getting covered and managing my body. And I've found that those are a beautiful staple. All of those things, the movement, the meditation, the fuel, and the self-care is a really, really beautiful groundwork and foundation for my personal body. And then if I add in a few more other things, it's just like luxury magic. So massage is an amazing thing. And if you can get it every day, that's the bee's knees and you're gonna feel awesome. Obviously massages are expensive. So if you have a partner or a friend that can give you massage, that's one of the reasons I really like the foam roller, because it's basically self-massage. But I have found a massage school in town that students need to practice, and it's a really discounted rate and you don't have to tip. So that's a way that I try to get a massage here and there as like an added bonus to my wellness. Acupuncture is really great. If it resonates with you, I highly recommend trying it out and seeing what it does for your body. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's something that you tried, but it helps me with sleep and insomnia, as well as inflammation and pain. So acupuncture, massage, those are just added in bits to wellness that I like to sprinkle in every now and then. Not obviously something I can do all the time, but there are also acupuncture and wellness schools that still need to practice as well. So it's another really great way to go and do those things that are really great for you without breaking the bank. Those are pretty much the main things that I focus on for my personal wellness, and in different ratios and variations every day. But all of those things combined together it's taken a while to figure that out, obviously. But for me personally, if I'm moving mindfully every day and meditating and eating clean, real foods and practicing self-care and putting myself first in the regards of making sure that my needs are met, I'm fed, my blood sugar's okay, I'm hydrated, I've meditated and cleared my mind before I go out into the world, those are gonna be huge game changers for you. And then another component for my wellness, which is really hard and it's something I'm still working on constantly, is reducing stress, which is another big word. Like reducing any form of stress or anxiety is kind of a trigger word as well. But reducing myself in stressful situations and giving myself permission to say no to things and not having to go to every social event or respond to every phone call or every text message, and reminding myself that it's okay to say no and not do something to preserve my spoons and preserve my wellness is okay. And that's something that's not really accepted, I guess, in mainstream, which is really unfortunate, but I'm hoping over time, the more that people talk about it and start the conversation of it, that the practice becomes more prevalent and necessary and normal in everyday society. But as far as reducing stressful situations is removing toxic people from your life, which can be incredibly challenging. But if you can prioritize your health and your wellness and acknowledge that there are certain people that when you are around, you tend to flare up or have panic attacks, or they just tend to not believe you and make you sicker, it's just not worth it. It's so not worth the spoons and not worth the energy. And I've been slowly removing myself from toxic environments, toxic situations, and toxic people to elevate my wellness to the highest and greatest good. So again, these are just some simple things that I have been doing that have really, really helped me. And I can do some separate videos about movement and meditation and food and all of those components and how they're really going to be, at least for me personally, they were the thing that changed my wellness and changed my life, which is all I really want for anyone else, is to feel better. And obviously, there's not always a cure. For a lot of us, there isn't. And there are more bad days than good days. However, having the tools and the resources in order to combat those days and having a routine makes those bad days so much more bearable, because you have self-care tools and practices that make you feel amazing and able to navigate through the hard days. So that's pretty much my individual wellness routine. If you have any specific questions about those, please always feel free to reach out. All I ever want to do is help other Spoonies feel better and make their life more meaningful and more magical. So I hope you have a great day and feel great.